welcome to Open to Connect. And I say this the same time every time. I am so excited about today's guest, but then when I met Casmine, do you see how the doorbell is ringing the second I push play? I said anything can happen on lives, and here we go to prove it. But yeah, I met. This is the first time the dogs have interrupted my podcast. So, and okay, here we go. I met Casmine through Shanae Urquhart, who is recruiter cousin, and now I have recruiter guru on here. And the second I met her, I just knew that it was like magic when you meet those magic people, and it's like, okay, we could talk forever, but we don't have forever. So I'm going to get as much time as I can. And Casmine, would you like to introduce yourself? Tell me what you do.
Yes. Hello, everyone. My name is Casmine, also known as Recruiter Guru. I've been a recruiter for 5 years, but in the HR space for 7. Currently live in Arizona, very hot, but I absolutely love it. And I'm super excited for today.
Yes, me too. And we even met, like, football season has started. So I just have to give a shout out to. We're both excited about that. So anyway, that's not why we're here. Probably shouldn't be why we're here, because we're on rival teams. But one of the things I want to jump right into the recruiting world and what you're seeing. And I mentor job seekers, and I messaged you even earlier today because we had some questions coming up in my earlier mentorship call. And I'm like, can you talk about this topic? Because it was we were all like, well, I don't know, and kind of theorizing. And we're like, I wish we had a recruiter to ask. And I was like, ding, 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 Casmine's on here. So we're going to talk about a little bit on the application side from what you see. Like, we know what the job seekers know what they see is they hit submit, and they have all these different questions that come through. And there's a conception about, well, if my resume isn't ATS compliant, it's going to get popped out of the system. If I check these boxes, it's going to get me blacklisted or something like that. So I really just wanted to start talking about what you see on your side versus what the candidates see, or how information is used and what may hurt them or help them in this process. So that's a lot at once. So I would love to start with I've listened to so many recruiters. I know it's a misconception about the ATS, and that it's going to auto reject you if you don't have the right font or something like that. Can you talk about that first?
Yes, absolutely. So with the ATS systems, there's a lot out here, but what I can tell you is that recruiters are the ones that will be pushing that button to reject. Now, the only time that your application will automatically get rejected and the recruiter does not do it is based on required fields. So if the organization does not sponsor visaskip, and you state that you need that, then unfortunately your application will automatically get rejected. Or a certain shift that we're asking that is required for this position, and you're not able to meet those requirements. So those type of situations, your application will automatically get rejected by the system. But I promise, we are humans on the other side. We are really doing the hard work, looking at every single application, making sure that your qualification and skills meets with what we're looking for as recruiters and what the leaders are looking for their team as well.
Yeah, that's even another point when it comes to people are seeing jobs get posted, and then something like on LinkedIn, and they're seeing, oh, there's already 300 applicants. And then you're talking about how you're doing each one of these. Like, well, what is that like on your side? I imagine it's a little bit chaotic for you.
Yeah, it's a lot. But honestly, I love it because every resume tells a story. That's what I really do appreciate. Now, when you see those 300 clicks on LinkedIn, those are really just clicks. Those are not 300 applications. And I know that can be confusing. So do not stray away from that. If you see 300 right beside the amount of application that was submitted, 100% of the time, those are just clicks. Those are not actual applications. But goes to recruiters. So we do have a lot of applications that we go through on a daily basis. And I mean a lot. So, if we're not able to get in contact with you in like the next couple of days, send us a DM, send us a quick email to HR or just a real quick, DM and just say like, hey, I submitted the application, just want to check and follow up. We don't mind that. Like, I don't mind it. I want to know that you're interested in this role, and I could have overlooked your application. Again, we are humans, and there's 8,000 of applications that we really do go through on a weekly basis.
Sure. So you're recommending maybe a couple days after applying even, or should they give a little bit more time for the, I guess, job rec to breathe? I don't know. I don't know the right way to ask that.
No, I would honestly say just give it like a week. Give it a week. Now, if you have contact with the recruiter, and I may have going too fast with this, so you can definitely slow me down. But if you already had an interview with a recruiter and you haven't heard anything back, I would say 2 days. Please do not hesitate to reach out to us. Again, that just shows you're holding us accountable, that we're reaching out, we're following up with you. Again, we do have like so many other things that we are doing from a recruiter standpoint, so many admin duties, meetings, sourcing. So we do sometimes forget, but we're also managing so many other candidates. So we do not mind, and I can speak for myself, I don't mind when my candidates reach out to me like, hey, Kaz, I'm just following up to see where am I at in the interview process. And I can easily give you a quick update on what that process looks like.
That's nice, because I know, but particularly when I was trying to overcome my career gap, and I had all kinds of imposter syndrome anyway. There was this misconception that I put on myself of, oh, I'm bothering them, and then it will look bad on me somehow because I'm being too needy, too frequent, too bold. So it's nice to hear that it's like, no, it's not too anything. And then the other thing that killed, like when I was in my job, sometimes it took the second ping for me to actually surface something up to a priority anyway, because I was balancing so many other things. And it sounds like that second or third ping might be the one like, oh gosh, that's the one that's dangling out there. I need to go figure it out.
Exactly. No, we don't mind. So please do not hesitate. Seriously.
Yeah, fantastic. And I do want to return back to, okay, we've talked about you hit submit and, well, the other thing. First thing, LinkedIn, just because it has 100 or 500 or 1,000 applicants doesn't mean that everybody applied. I am a serial job rec clicker. So I add to that count, even though I never applied. I'm like, what skill should I be developing, or what does this need? I get all those. I'm a curious clicker. So people like me are adding to that count. And then and then the ATS is a human unless they're getting booted for literally not meeting the screening questions, and those are pretty obvious. The next thing that came up, and we spent a lot of time trying to think through this, was, do we disclose disabilities, especially because that list is long. It goes from, because it says, do you currently or ever had? So somebody who maybe is recovering from cancer, well, like, yeah, I used to. What does that do on your end? Do you see it? That was one of the other things, is do you even see it, or is it just data, or what's happening there?
It's literally just data that, other departments take in consideration with that. But from a recruiter standpoint, that does not hurt your chances, because we do not see that. That does not automatically disqualify you for a position. I always tell my candidates, it's based on your comfort level. If you are comfortable sharing that at the beginning, that's totally fine. Again, I'm still going to move forward with you in the process because you meet the qualifications. Your resume speaks for itself. You have like what we're looking for in, a next potential new hire. So those disabilities does not automatically reject you from the process. So it's really just more so on the individual. If you're comfortable sharing that information up front, by all means do so. If not, that's totally fine. If you want to wait later on down the process, you can absolutely do so.
Okay, so when you talk about later on down the process, if somebody maybe declines to answer for the time, but then they actually do need some sort of interview accommodation, they could ask that during that, like the setup of the next rounds and things like that.
Absolutely. And we work with candidates now that do ask for those special accommodations, and we have a special team that handles that. So as long as, like, again, as long as you're comfortable sharing that information, our due diligence is to help you be comfortable in those
Mhm.
interview stages.
Nice. I love that. I really love that because it was,
Yeah.
yeah, there's like all these misconceptions is like, oh, if I
Yeah.
have, particularly depending on what the disability is, it could,
Right.
I know when I had my career gap and I was trying to interview, what was sticking into my mind while I'm interviewing is, please don't ask me about the career gap. Please don't ask me for the career gap. But that same thing can transfer to someone with a disability. Like, please don't ask me about my service dog. Please don't. And then we can build this monster in our own mind that the interviewer probably isn't even thinking about, but we are, and then it gets in the way. So
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
And we do that to ourselves all the time. Again, we're human, but as long as you're comfortable with it, do not psych yourself out from missing the next opportunity that could be the yes for you. So yeah.
Yes. So then the question comes, again, we hear this a lot, is how much is too much when it comes to applying? Is there a point when you stop, when you're so sick of seeing the same name and you're like, honey, you're never getting in this place. I don't know why you keep doing
No, honestly, I have a good
here. So,
right, exactly. These are behind the scenes. This is a safe space. So no, I had a few candidates, honestly, that was rejected for the same position. And honestly, it's really just giving them a shot, because you never know. Like, your resume could say one thing, but you could be a great interviewer. And that would make you be the individual that says yes from the hiring leader. So I have ran into a few incidents where candidates, was rejected in the past for either the same role or other positions. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to give them a shot. And 9 times out of 10, those individuals are the ones that are getting offers. And I'm like, oh, wow. So if I didn't even give this individual a chance to be interviewed, they will never have this opportunity. So, yeah, no, do not stop applying. Keep applying. Okay. That no will turn into a yes eventually. If not for
nice.
that organization, then it will be for somewhere else.
So this one just came to mind too, is I know, when I was working in my previous company, we had like a candidate log on portal and we would upload our resume there. And that stayed the
Mhm.
same until we uploaded a different one. Uh, if somebody's applying for multiple jobs with maybe the same title, different team at the same company, should they keep their resume the same, even if the job description kind of shifts a little bit, or should they continue to tailor it for each of those things?
Yeah, and it also depends on the ATS system. So, like the one that we use, only one resume is what we're going to look at. So, I would just say trying to keep it the same, tailor a little bit to where whatever the position that you're applying for, but it also should be aligned with what you're really, wanting for your career. So, if you're applying for an administrative role, but you're wanting to also apply for a leadership position in the administrative department, it should be aligned to where it's not a little off. Like, why are you applying to finance where you're wanting to do,
Mhm.
I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it needs
Yeah.
to be aligned in that sense. So, yeah, I would just say stick to one resume. Recruiters, we talk to one another. I know I work with other recruiters in different departments. If a candidate does not meet, for whatever reason, the qualifications or the position is filled, then I don't mind talking to the next recruiter to let them know, like, hey, I have this candidate who also applied to your position. Let's take a look to see if they meet the qualifications for this particular role that you're recruiting for.
Nice. It just reminded me of the true, I guess, negative spray and pray is if you're just trying to apply to almost any role that opens up at the company. And it's just like, okay, I want to be a TPM and a general manager and a cloud architect. And you're like, what?
Yeah. Yeah. No, stay on one course. I need to stay on one course. Don't job hop when it comes to applying, because it confuses us to, like, what exactly do you want? Make our job a little bit easier so that we can really help you so that you can reach that next level in your career.
Nice. Shanae just chimed in on the chat. Hey, let's go, ladies. So this is where I could say thank you for Shanae for introducing us, because we're already having a fantastic time over here. So
We are.
Yeah, thank you. All right. Let's see. So we talked about ATS and then too much in the applications and the disabilities, follow-up timing. So what do you see working right now for candidates?
Honestly, I just say put yourself out there. It's the job market is a little fluctuating, like it goes up and down. From a recruiter standpoint, there's jobs out there, but it's really a very competitive industry, and I know that can get so discouraging. I have friends who are still unemployed and looking for jobs, and they've been unemployed for 6 months. And it's not that they don't meet the requirements, it's just more so it really is a tough market out here. So just continue to apply, continue to network. I know we're going to get to that, but
Yeah,
network,
I was about
network,
to go right
network.
up there.
Like that is what's going to help your entire journey, whether it may not be an interview, but just having like a conversation to let that individual know that you're interested in that company. And maybe when a position becomes available, they're like, you know what? I remember when John reached out to me. Let me see if he's interested in this role. So yeah, I'm jumping too ahead.
Yeah, it just reminds me, I tell people a lot of times, like, don't let people forget you exist, because we're seeing so
Mhm.
much content all over our world. You're seeing name after name after name on resumes, and I
Yes.
can imagine it's just like this cloud in your head
Mhm.
where you're kind of, as a candidate, need to ask yourself, how do I, if I'm in the cloud, how do I become a little
Yeah.
thunderstorm that, hey, I'm here.
Mhm.
Like, I'm over here.
Yep.
Remember me. Striking some lightning every once in a while.
Hey, you gotta do what you gotta do.
Gotta do what you gotta do. Uh, yeah, and that's one of the just a piece of advice I get. Is there something that does help someone stand out to you, specifically on what they do out there when it comes to out there when it comes to networking?
Yeah, just showing interest, honest. I have a few individuals that reach out to me that may not qualify for the role that they're in or position that I've posted on LinkedIn. That doesn't mean that I'm just going to forget about you. There have been plenty of times where I was able to circle back and be like, hey, I know you were interested in this role, but this position actually sounds a little bit more aligned with what you're looking for based on your experience and skills. What are your thoughts? So, again, just putting yourself out there. Do not be afraid to connect with recruiters in the organizations. We may not be the recruiter for that position, but again, we speak to other recruiters in different departments, so you just never know. So just don't be afraid to put yourself out there.
Yeah, I like that a lot. Especially, I had a fear, kind of. Oh, I have target companies and things like that, and it's just,
Yeah.
oh, if I keep saying, if I say I really want to work for blah blah blah, then I would write the story in my head. Oh, I sound desperate now, and so many people are afraid of the open to work banner because they think it.
Yeah.
People are out there saying, "Oh, you'll look desperate," and I'm like, "We stop it." But and then there's the me being blatant, saying this is what I'm looking for, could turn somebody off to me as a candidate. And those
Mhm.
are the things that people are saying, hearing, or believing. I would love to hear your thoughts on that, even though you kind of gave a little bit, to just double click into it.
No, literally, like you're not bugging us. Don't be afraid to do it. Like again, you just never know where it would take you. And if for some reason that connecting with me, you're wanting to work with our organization doesn't work out. Again, I know recruiters in different other organizations that can help you. So it may not be a fit for us, but there are other organizations out there. Do not limit yourself, continue to apply, continue to network, send those DMs. I know a lot of recruiters. Recruiter cousin, for an example, she does like live sessions on LinkedIn, free at that. Take advantage of those opportunities because you never know who are in the room. Jacqueline, same. Like take really advantage of those opportunities because again, you never know who's in these live sessions who really help you out to that next level.
Yeah, as Shanae just said, if people think you're bugging them, then you don't want to work there. And
There
there's so
you
many right there. It's just that's the golden nugget right there. Is
go. Hmm.
if people are going to ghost you, find you annoying, and they're like, that speaks to the culture
Like
of the company too, right?
Exactly. Like, do you want to be around that? No, you want an environment that is safe and peaceful for your mental and that you're going to strive and be successful. If you really feel like you're bugging them, then that might not be the spot for you. And that's okay.
Yeah. As long as, I would say, as a caveat, as long as it's not coming from your own negative self-talk, right? Because if
Yeah.
they give the impression that you're bugging them, it's different than you being like, what I would do is, I don't know, I just like, maybe I'm bugging them. Maybe they're so
Hmm.
busy. I don't want to be adding more to their stress. And I would do that. And I was like, that's not
Yeah.
that was past me.
No.
Now I know, is like, hey, even finding people with the podcast. It's like,
Hmm.
people like to tell their stories. Let me just ask if they want to go on it. And more people say yes than no. So,
Hmm.
yeah.
Exactly.
I think, like, I can tell that you would have share this sentiment is there are so many helpers out there, and people, I can tell you
Hmm.
are one. It's like you want to, most people, if they're not saying yes to helping you, it may not be that
Yeah.
they don't want to. It just could be something else going on uh,
Hmm. Hmm.
that we don't see, because we only see the friendly post and the things that are going out there,
Hmm.
and not
Hmm.
all the other
Hmm.
aspects happening. So yeah.
Yeah, no, that is very true. We're again, we're human. We are going to go through like day-to-day things in life and outside of work. Like I'm just Casmine, I do have things that goes on in life, and again, you just be gracious when you have those
Mm.
those connections with those individuals. Just don't psych yourself out, but you'll know when you're bothering someone versus you're telling your own self that, oh my gosh, I really am bothering them. No, you'll know the signs. You'll see it.
Yeah. It reminded me of, there were a lot of people that would send me a resume when I was working at Microsoft, and they're like, "Can you give me a job?" And then they just sent the resume. I mean, they might have
Oh
worded
my
it
gosh.
slightly different, but there were so many times I was like, "Well, I would love to help, but I just can't go through." At that point, it
Hmm.
was like we used to have 12,000
Hmm.
recs at the time that were open, and I
Hmm.
just remember being like,
Hmm.
my heart is big and my time is small. So I would
Yes.
love to hear what you see candidates doing that are not helping them in the job search, things like that.
Yeah. Man, I get that a lot, emails and DMs, and same. I really want to help, but the amount of workload that I have, like, it's really hard. So what I always tell individuals, if you are really interested in the company, apply for the position. Then let me know, like, hey, Casper, I applied to this and that. This is the rec. Here's my resume that is attached to it. Let me know when we can connect. To me, you done did the work. That is easy for me. I can easily pull your application, look at it, set up a screen, get you next rounds to the interviews. When you send your resume to me and there's no story behind it, I can help, but it's gonna take time. So I'd rather you just really do some research on what you're wanting to really apply to so that I can better help you in that sense.
It goes back to actually the if you're going to have one resume in the system, what do you stand for? Like,
Yeah.
what is that thing that you want to
Hmm.
go for? And it's kind of that exact same thing reaching out to you is, I know I want to
Yeah.
be a PM, and for your company
Yeah.
helps a lot more. And then I always say the job rec number off the career site.
Yep.
There's so many times people would ask me for a referral, but they'd give me the LinkedIn link, and I'm like, I have to now go find this in
No.
the system, and sometimes the numbers different, and all these things where I
A
can't.
lot.
I
It's a
want to refer
lot.
you. It's a
Yes.
lot, even just to do those things. So thanks for that.
No, I agree. And then and for those who are like not really more so interested in applying to the organization I work for and just really just needs like guidance from me from a recruiter standpoint. Like I don't mind those things. Like I don't mind providing tips on how you can really, get your resume be seen. It's just a reminder like, again, we are busy and I promise you like I'm not ignoring you. But it's just gonna take some time, but I don't mind it. I don't mind it at all, but just remember that we are human.
That's awesome. So is there anything else that candidates are doing outside of like, do the job search for me, that is standing out that may be hurting them? They just don't think about that part.
Oh man, so resumes. Um, Be sure you are loading the correct document when you are applying to roles. There has been many times where it doesn't even matter what level position that you're applying for, where I am seeing tax documentation, social security numbers. I'm like, oh my gosh, like this is crazy. Take your time. Make sure you are uploading the correct documents, because I promise you, that's gonna automatically reject you from a recruiter standpoint. That's gonna automatically reject you because you're not taking your time to really upload the proper documents. And those type of skills you're going to need in a day-to-day job duty. So if you're not able to upload the right document now, how are you going to be able to do that, down the line when you do get the job? So those are something that I've noticed that does hurt some of the candidates' time when it's time to apply and get that interview.
Yeah, I did that once where I found like the perfect job, really went through the resume, got it just right, and then glanced over the cover letter, and right at the bottom I had the other company that I applied for, because I'm like, it's just a closing paragraph. That's not going to be different. Oh yes, it was. It was like, I really look forward to hearing about the blah blah blahs, culture, being part of blah blah. Come on, Jacqueline. And then I was like, I happened to be time. I was like, I happened to be French. I was so excited about the job itself that I was just like, now I will keep your advice in mind next time I find that perfect role. I was so embarrassed, and I was friends with the recruiter, so I'm texting her. I'm like, I was like, can you pull the cover letter out, because I don't.
See, and that is helpful too, because there's have been times where I had to do that for individuals. They're like, you know what? I did the application. I realized I uploaded the wrong document. Can you upload this one? Absolutely. I sure can. Just take your time. Don't rush. I promise you the application is not going anywhere.
I'm like, because there's this, if I'm the first one in the queue, then I'm going to have a better chance of getting it. And I think that that's kind of like what maybe gets people in that mentality of race to apply.
Yeah.
And I have seen job recs a couple days after they open. So,
and there's like so many incidents on why it does close so quickly. It could be due to internal mobility, or it really could be due to the fact that we got so many applications externally, and we just need to turn off the rec so that we can just focus and dive in with the resumes that we already have. So if we have 1,000 resumes already in the rec and we're getting 1,000 more, like that's a lot to be rejecting. And it takes days. And again, we don't mind it. That's our duty. But there could be incidents where we do turn off the rec due to the high amount of applications that we do receive. So, so many differences. So behind the scenes.
Yeah. I've seen also, this switches gears just a little bit, but I want to talk to candidates who, there are so many people in this desperate situation. They're struggling, and they may get to the final round interviews and then get rejected. Can you talk? And I hear so many times, what am I doing wrong? Can you just coach those people just for a minute and let them see what's happening potentially?
So what I'm seeing is when individuals get to the final round, they get comfortable, and I wouldn't say they psych themselves out, but they get too comfortable to where they're like, oh, I already got the job. No, every interview, every round, you need to treat it like it is the final round. No matter what the previous round was, what that individual states, treat it like it's literally any other interview. So that's what I'm seeing from a recruiter standpoint, is just those individuals being comfortable. Or it could be just to the fact that maybe like certain things that you're saying in the interview, like prep. I wouldn't just say like go in the interview just blinded and think you got it. Like, no, really take time to ask ChatGPT, or matter of fact, ask your recruiter. I'm great with coaching my candidates because I want to see them succeed in that final round. So these are some of the questions that they may ask, or this is how you are able to really stand out from other I'm going to be that recruiter that does that for you. So take your time, do the homework, ask ChatGPT, what are some questions that, the leader may ask, and just really prep yourself. Just don't think that, you made it to the final round, that it's already yours, because it's not. The next man or woman could literally take it right underneath you. So go in knowing that you technically don't have it until you sign that offer letter. So just don't get too comfortable.
Nice. Um, that's perspective I just hadn't thought of, because I was kind of like, oh, that just
Yeah.
means the other person was just a little bit better. But yeah, it's like I can relate to it, because it's kind of like, oh, this is just the fine. I'm just meeting the blah blah blah. Maybe my team members, or just, we put that just there that discounts how much we should be preparing for it. So you mentioned AI, and there's a lot of, we talk in another area where there's misconceptions about people. Should they use it? Should they not? Well, I'm being rejected based on AI. There's all of this, these swarms of thoughts about AI. How do you see it being used? And then, from like your perspective, like what your maybe, I don't want to call out your company as the industry, I'm going to say is how they're using AI. And then what are you seeing with candidates using AI? I've heard that you can spot it like a mile away. What makes it that way, so that people can, if you're going to use it with wisdom, as opposed to
agreed. Yes. No, seriously. So when candidates are using AI, ChatGPT, for an example, and they're asking ChatGPT to revamp their resume, they're not noticing that ChatGPT is not putting all the details. So I'm seeing in resumes where there should be a number of like a certain percentage of a metric, and all you see is X's. Like, you're telling me that you didn't even review your resume. You just let ChatGPT do it, and you just upload it. To me, that automatically tells me like you didn't do the research on making sure like your resume is up to par before uploading. And then also just make sure like the wording is understandable. ChatGPT can miss a lot of things and it doesn't flow. So you really, again, AI is great. I love it. I use it on my day to day, but you really just have to double check it. It's very smart, but it makes errors. So you really do have to do your due diligence and double check to make sure there are no errors and you're not missing those X marks where metric numbers should be at.
Yeah, I'm also hearing companies that are emerging now on the market that are like, we'll apply to 100 jobs for you so you don't have to. And I see that as such a red flag for many reasons. Like, first of all, I don't even know what I applied to. So when you call me, I'm like, what company, where, what job? So then there's that sort of thing. But are you seeing, I guess, evidence of that? Would you even know if that's what's happening with a candidate?
Yeah, there's a lot of tools out here that will do that. And same thing that goes to you. I have a friend who used a platform that pretty much just does the applications for her. And the fact that she cannot keep up with the amount of applications that the system is doing for her, she's getting called back and she's like, you know what, I'm actually not even interested in the company. So it really just more so just really like doing your research on. Again, AI is amazing. I love it. Like, we really just have to adapt to it. You just have to use it in the right way and making sure that it works for you. But I'm not a big fan of those type of platforms that are applying for jobs for myself. I'd rather just do the work because I want to make sure, like, again, the company meets like the vision and mission and the culture that I'm looking for. So that's my intake, my take on that.
Well, I would agree with it on just a lot of levels. I like to go and read the reviews of the company. What are employees saying? So even if I pursue it, and I might, at least I know, okay, these might be the style of interview questions I should be asking to kind of suss out, is my team one of those teams that has the red flags all over the place, or heaven forbid, if it applied for 6 roles at the same company, I may not actually know which one you're calling about. And you can tell me, because this is my theory, that doesn't sound good on my side when I'm answering the phone. And I'm like, so what company are you with? What job is it?
Exactly.
I actually keep all the links of every job application I have on hand in case I get that call. I don't think it sounds bad to be like, okay, I applied to 4 jobs at this one. Is it this role or this one? And just clarify which one you're talking about. And I have it so I can go read the job description really quick while I'm talking on the phone. Like, what was it about this one that made me excited to apply for it? So
Yeah, no. Applying for jobs is like another full-time job. That's what I always tell people because you really have to like dive in and focus and you just don't want to miss your opportunity. So like you state, creating a spreadsheet that helps. Because it just keep you organized so that you don't miss out on these different opportunities.
Yeah. Like shameless plug for my website. I have one on there that people can go can go. Like I made a tool
Ooh,
for the whole purpose. So
there you
I do want
go.
to get to that too for you. Is I know that you do things on the side and
Yeah,
are as you've talked about a lot on here is that you're willing to help people. So I would love to hear to just
absolutely.
how do people connect with you? And I guess this is usually my last question because I normally want to be like, what did I not ask you about that I wish you would? So I'll just buckle all of them in together. Is like, is there something we haven't touched on yet in this conversation that you really would like to highlight? And then talk about how people can connect with you, what you do, and how they can get the help that you're talking about. Because it's amazing to work with, I'm sure. Nothing else. You'll laugh.
Absolutely.
You'll laugh a lot and have a great time. So
Hey, we've been having a good time since the beginning.
yeah, since call one, I was like, I was telling people this morning. I said, it's one thing to get on a call with somebody, and then you actually ended up mentoring me on some things, and it was just one of those where networking provides opportunities that you might not expect, even if it is in the oh,
Mhm.
this person just taught me something that we
Yeah.
were just meeting to talk about the podcast,
Mhm.
not businesses or doing your own thing or pep talks
Mhm.
or all that. So anyway, I had to put a plug
Mhm.
in for networking and how awesome it is to just meet people and ask
Yes,
for meetings. And when you get into that room, you never know what'll happen. But yeah,
absolutely.
there. Things
Yes.
that I didn't ask you about and how to find you, how to work with you.
Yes, yes, yes. So no, I mean, we really touched on some great topics, and I just want to leave with, don't get discouraged. I always tell individuals like you may receive a lot of no's, but I promise you that yes will come in the right moment. It can be hard. I know, very discouraging. You're seeing others around you getting those success offers, but it's going to take time. It's really going to take time, and when it's the right time, it will come. But how can you find me? So I am on LinkedIn, you guys. I love LinkedIn. If you know, you know. So you can, send a request if you want your resume to be revamped. I also do speaking engagements similar to this, just in a live platform, just talking more so behind the scenes and things from a recruiter standpoint and how we can be accessible to you guys. So just send me a quick DM if you want your resume revamped. If you want help with interview preps, compensation conversations, I am your girl. So do not be afraid to reach out to me.
Oh, that feels like we do have time for another question. You said
Yeah.
compensation conversations, and that just totally sent off the we have so many people who even today someone asked like there's this big range. How do I know what to ask for? And if I ask for the wrong thing, is it going to disqualify me for the role? And then if I push back and negotiate, is the offer going to be rejected? I get so much of this that I would love for you to give a little bit of recruiter perspective on that as well.
Absolutely. So every recruiter is different, but from my perspective, I'm going to automatically tell you the range. Now this is going to be after that you inform me like what your range is that you're wanting to meet, but I'm also going to be very authentic with you. Like, hey, I know you asked for this, but this is our range. Does it sound like something that works out for you? I'm also going to include like the benefits and the perks and make sure like all of that is all intertwined together. But do not never don't sell yourself short. Ask for what if the range is posted, ask for if you want to ask for the max, absolutely do it. That will not automatically disqualify you for it. Also just keep in mind of the experience that you bring to the table. So if that max number is where you feel like, oh, I have 10 plus years of experience, I know I can get it, go for it. If you feel like you have half of that, find that medium range. But as your recruiter, I'm also going to push to get you to the highest level of compensation that I can possibly can. And my candidates on LinkedIn can tell you and testify to that. Like I really do push for that. But do not be afraid to ask for whatever that max is. That's not going to automatically disqualify you. In applications where I see candidates that are applying and they're asking for more than six figures, and I know this role and not get you there, I'm gonna email you, before rejecting the application, be like, hey, I know you asked for this comp range, but unfortunately, this role does not meet the expectations of that. Here are some other positions that would qualify you for that range that you are looking for. Again, every recruiter does not do that, so do not expect that from everyone. But just don't get discouraged thinking that you need to sell yourself short to get that next opportunity.
Yeah, I love that. Especially, and I would say even like these ranges are big for a reason. So I'm guessing like if something is really it's going to be a stretch role, but you also know you can do it, then asking for that top dollar might actually hurt you in the long run with promotions and whatnot. That's the advice I've been told. So, true?
No,
Not
that
true?
is very true. Yes. No, it is. It is. So if we offering you at the highest amount and it's time for promotion, it's going to be hard to get you to like that next level because you're already hitting that band that meets the expectation from the company standpoint internally. So we do try to leave some type of wiggle room so that you are able to reach that next band of salary, and those extra perks and RDUs and so forth. So we do try to leave that wiggle room so that you do have some growth when it does come to compensation down the line in your career. So that's very true. We do that. We keep that in mind for sure.
And I think that like candidates should keep that in mind too. A
Yeah.
especially if like me, I like the pat on the back of the bonus or the kudos, things like that. If I'm at the top of the band and I don't get that for 3 years, I'm going to be like,
yeah,
I suck. Why am I in
what am I
this
doing?
job? I'll just start.
Yeah.
I'll get in my own. I think a lot of what I talk about is how much I can get my own way on some of these things that if you like, it's kind of like candidate know yourself. And is that going to matter if you don't see a raise for 3-5 years until you're actually ready to go to that next thing versus you'll promote and get the kudos,
no, I think we
motivated, stuff like that, right?
Exactly. No, I think we all want to raise. So yeah, just of course, just keeping that in mind that we do take that into consideration of we want to give you, 6 figures, but we want to leave you some room for when we know that you're going to do great, you're going to grow within the organization. So we want to leave some space for you to really reach that high potential.
Fantastic. So now I'm butting up to our end of time, but thank you for that conversation. I almost forgotten how often those sorts of things are asked with people I mentor. So you're on LinkedIn and happy to take new connections and help with people, resume revamps and interview preps, all of those things. Thank you for being here. This is, I've been excited since I saw you pop on the schedule and I had to wait weeks and weeks. So I was like really anticipating. But that's sometimes that's by design, right? It's like, oh, I need to. It has to be this far out. So thank you for being here, and it's been such a joy having you on here.
Yes, no, thank you for the opportunity. Like I told you, like when we first connected, it has been nothing but amazing. So I really appreciate you just having this platform for us to tell our stories and really give some great tips so that these job seekers can be successful in their search. So I appreciate you.
Break a lot of the myths down that are out there that end up tearing candidates down instead of building them up. So thank you for building people up. And is this where I say like go Seahawks and then we have a Hulk?
Oh man, see now, Jacqueline, we were buddies. Now we were buddies.
I already said if you get to come up here for the Cardinals game that we're gonna high five each other. All right. On that note, you can tell I'm so excited about football season. Like it took everything not to wear a sports jersey to this call, right?
You know what? That might be a next one in the future we should do.
There we go. Yes. That would probably nothing about recruiting, but my team's better than your team back and forth. I thought we could find a way to turn it into a recruiting something or a job search something. Of course. I'm sure. But thank you again. I know this is going to be valuable for not just people who are watching it live, but those who will watch it later. And I do look, go Birds. Oh yeah, because we're Shanae is over here, Philadelphia, right?
Oh
And now
man, yeah.
so, well, I guess, yes, all birds. Let's rock it
We
with
are
all
birds.
birds this year. Yes.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I love that mindset. We'll take that.
All for one here. So, all right. Have a great day, and thank you again.
Thank you.